My name is Caesar.
And I'm Martha.
Welcome to the 48th episode of In a Wider Screen, where
two idiots who know nothing about movies talk about movies.
if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Martha, I meant to tell you this actually. I checked earlier today. We are at 98 subscribers.
Wow. Is now a good time to say that I quit? Because I'm done.
Perfect.
Here.
Perfect timing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but we're literally too short of 100. So if y'all want to help us get there and then start the road to 200, 300. Or unsubscribe, actually. You know what? Fine.
I'm begging you all, stop watching us. There's no reason for you to watch us.
Literally, I mean, they probably are already not watching us because this is our first episode in like a month.
That's true. Yes. Life, man. What can I say? It's finals week. I nearly came to this episode with a glass of wine. All right. It's been stressful. Let me be.
Yeah, it's been tough. A lot of school and just life in general, but we're finally making time for this, and hopefully, I mean, after this we should be done with class, so it should be easy sailing from here on out. More so you, because you're done.
Yeah, today was actually my officially last day of class. I still have assignments to do, but I don't have to show up anymore. So
yeah, but like forever, not even just a semester, like forever.
I'm graduating in a couple weeks, which is insane because that means I'm like an adult and clearly I'm not. So
yeah, look at how the presentation today. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But if you want to prove how much you are an adult right now, Martha, I can ask you a question today. So
prove that I spent all of that money on an education for a good reason.
For a good reason, exactly. Let's see here. What word is pronounced the same if you take away 4 of its 5 letters?
What word is pronounced the same if you take away 4 of its 5 letters?
Yeah.
Same.
It's interesting.
I'm gonna go with what word is. See, I feel because at first I was like, before you said the last part, I was like, the word. How do you pronounce the word same? Wait.
How do you pronounce which word is pronounced the same? Yeah.
Which word is pronounced the same? The same.
That's 2 words.
Okay, fine. Which word is pronounced the same if you take away 4 out of 5 of its letters? Okay, 4 out of 5 of its letters.
So you have a 5-letter word, you take out 4 of its letters, and it still sounds the same.
Okay. I'm going to go with... Because this requires, like, spelling in my head. All right? I can't spell.
I know it's your biggest trait, your greatest strength, even.
It's my greatest downfall in life is the fact that I am illiterate and can't spell to save my life. So, like, even if there was the word that I knew, I would misspell it. So, I'm gonna go with same.
Okay. So the answer is Q.
Q.
Queue.
Yeah. See.
Q.
Okay. But here's the thing.
And you take out 4 of the 5 letters, and it's Q. Don't do this.
To have answered this, I would need a dictionary to flip through and try and figure out, like, okay, which words, because then I gotta start what words have 5 letters? All right, so there's the first problem I have to encounter.
Dude, you cannot be complaining right now about what it requires to answer these questions. I don't care.
Have the time to answer that kind of question.
I don't care. We have the point is that we don't have time to answer these questions. That's what makes it fun.
Anyway, give me a podcast where I just answer these riddles. If you give me an hour long to answer a single riddle, absolutely I can do it. But don't give me like less than a minute. I can't do that. You know what?
That would be an interesting episode where, let's say, one week we just do no movie or anything. We just have a whole hour of you just trying to answer as many riddles as possible.
Hey, we knew you came here for a movie podcast. Not anymore. We're doing riddles.
We're switching it up. 100 subscribers. This is a riddle podcast. Yeah. No, it's still a movie podcast. And today's movie took us a whole month to watch it and catch up to and everything.
Well, to be fair, I didn't even need to watch this movie. but I did anyway because I like
That's
it.
true. It's a great movie. Today we are talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So crazy enough, we picked this movie because the week we were supposed to record this was when Fantastic Beasts was coming out, and it's
Yeah.
been out now for like 3 weeks.
Yeah. I
So not exactly
still
as
have not
relevant anymore.
seen
I
it,
haven't seen it yet
but
either. Um,
you know,
Hope it's good.
it's fine.
It
You
wasn't a fan
know.
of the last one, but
Yeah. I mean,
but I
okay,
am a
so
fan of this one.
the problem with the Fantastic Beasts is that it's a total fan service package that
Hundred
unless you
percent.
are extremely deep into the lore, you're not going to get it. You're not going to enjoy it. For someone like me who knows these books and movies front and back, I get it. I enjoyed it. But I do understand how it is not technically the best movie. So,
Far from it. But that's fine.
yeah.
This one's a lot better, I think. So
100%. Yeah.
100%. So Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Let me introduce this real quick. This is the third time on this podcast we are talking about director Chris Columbus.
Chris
It's very interesting.
Columbus.
Yes. So he is the one who directed the first two Home Alone films. Miss Doubtfire. He also did not just this Harry Potter movie, but the next one, and then of course his best and most memorable movie is the first Percy Jackson movie.
Of course, that
which
is
we,
his
the
prized.
magnum opus.
Yes.
Yeah, that's his
Yes.
masterpiece. So there you go. Huge cast here. You have Emma. I was gonna start with Emma Watson. She's not the lead here. Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, and then a huge British cast: John Cleese, Robbie Coltrane, like Alan Rickman, like huge ass, like every basically memorable British actor is like in this
Basically.
playing a huge memorable role. Released November 16, 2001. I was only a wee old baby. 120 $125 million budget. This is our first billion dollar grosser we've talked about. This has made $1.018 billion worldwide.
I have never spent that much at the store.
I'm sure that was by choice. At the 74th Academy Awards, this received 3 nominations for Best Original Score, Best Production Design, and Best Costumes. On Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 81% critic score, 82% audience. I thought it'd be a little higher for audience.
Yeah.
And the synopsis reads, Harry Potter has lived under the stairs at his aunt and uncle's house his whole life. But on his 11th birthday, he learned he's a powerful wizard with a place waiting for him at the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, as he learns to harness his newfound powers. With the help of the school's kindly headmaster, Harry uncovers the truth about his parents' deaths and about the villain who's to blame.
Shut up, Malfoy. Why is it that British people can do American accents, but Americans cannot do British accents?
I was having this conversation with, I don't know who, I think it was with my girlfriend. We were talking about how, yeah, that's basically exactly what you were saying, like how British people, or honestly any people from any other country ever, can nail an American accent with no issues, but an American person doing any accent sounds horrible.
Awful. Unless it's me with my Irish accent. In that case, I've really got it down. But anyway.
There are some Irish actors in this too, aren't there?
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
Dad's a muggle. Mum's a witch. Mum's a witch. Bit of a nasty shock when they found out.
Yes.
Seamus.
Anyway, so this is the first movie, obviously, of the Harry Potter franchise, based on a series of books written by. Do we want to say her name here?
I believe Harry Potter wrote them.
I bet Harry Potter wrote them himself.
He wrote they're autobiographies. So
they are autobiographical.
Yeah.
You're right, and that's what makes them that more special. So basically, he very much heavily emphasized that he wanted a all British, all Irish cast, which is strange to me. Then why they would choose an American director, but I mean,
yes. Well, that's silly Harry Potter. What can you say?
Silly Harry Potter, man. What can you say? I mean, he's always been making questionable decisions, and saying questionable things, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, really, just if you think about it, like without this movie being as good as it is, like we wouldn't even have. You would not be wearing what you're wearing right now. We would not be having like any of this Harry Potter craziness going on. Like it's, it's so iconic because of this. Started off, you know.
Harry Potter is, if you could not tell, one of my favorites of everything. This was like the first thing that got me into like things. Like I was not this big of a fangirl of anything until Harry Potter came along, and I love it. Got the movies here.
Oh, nice. I had the same collection at home.
Yeah. I got
Good
all the
job.
books, but I was not going to lug all of them here because they're heavy and they're
I also
hardcover.
have the books, I think, too. I think
Yeah.
mine are paperback.
So I just, oh God, I love the books. I love the movies. This is just like watching this movie is like a warm hug. It's just so nice and
Especially this first
comforting.
one. This
Yes.
first one more than the others,
Hmm.
for sure.
Also, I'm going to take these glasses off because they're making me dizzy. So goodbye, Harry Potter.
Thank you.
Oh, which reminds me. So let's talk about houses for a second. What's
Do
your
we have to,
house?
is this the new, like, what's our zodiac sign kind of
Yeah.
thing? I don't have a house. I don't know. What house do you think I would be
Boo.
in?
Tomato, tomato.
I could take a quick BuzzFeed quiz if you want me to.
No. See, I feel like, okay, you're too dumb to be in Ravenclaw, so that's out the window. You're not brave, so you're certainly not in Gryffindor. Um, uh, you're a little bit of an asshole. Maybe you're Slytherin. But no, they're
But
kind of smart too, so no, not them.
I was gonna say everyone in Slytherin is like destined to be great and all this kind of
Yeah,
stuff, right?
definitely
That's what
not
they say.
you. Uh, I I guess you're a Hufflepuff, but like I don't want to share. By the way, can you guess what house I'm in?
Honestly, I don't know what color that is. I thought
Can
Hufflepuff was orange,
can you get
or is that Ravenclaw? I don't know what the colors are.
Oh God, this kills me. How dare you?
You have to remember, and even in this first movie, literally they ignore Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff entirely.
Hufflepuffs are particularly good finders. For anyone who has seen a Harry Potter musical, I love you. They're the best.
Fortunately, it's not what we're talking about today. We're
But
talking about the actual film.
anyway, yeah, no,
I'm
I
just missing.
I mean, just the whole concept. Okay, so that kind of brings us into like world building. In terms of world building, that's what I love these movies for, is because they're just like you really do enter like a whole completely different
Oh yeah,
world. So it's really cool.
I think this is one of the best examples of a world. I mean, especially with this first movie. I mean, that's literally kind of the job that it's meant to do.
Hmm.
Is just building this world for us to like get invested in. Obviously, like the characters too and everything, but you got to set up this world as some kind of magical place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which honestly, like even from the opening scene that they do that already. Like the whole scene of Dumbledore and McGonagall dropping off
The
little baby Harry.
magical world of London.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no. But no, I do what you mean with the deluminator, like right off the back, you're getting thrown straight into the magic, and then you have the transfiguration of McGonagall, and
Right.
yeah, it's
And
all
then you
very
have the
cool.
score. The music. First, the music is so. You know how a lot of movies, obviously, the music kind of in the background. You kind of have to really kind of listen for it. This is
No,
not this movie,
it's the
but it's
forefront.
in the best way. I say that it's in the forefront of the movie,
Yeah,
but it sounds like it adds to like the whole magical, which I think John Williams was good for. I mean, he did the music for Star Wars and Jurassic Park and everything. Like he kind of did the same things for those movies, like kind of introducing the wonder of it all.
yeah,
So I think he
yeah.
was perfect for writing this
It is.
music.
It works really well the way that the score really does. Just it's right there. It's in your
I mean, it's
face.
iconic now.
It's
I mean, it's like
iconic. You hear it and you know it, even if you've never really seen
you
Harry
hear the first
Potter.
like two notes, you know it exactly.
Yeah, everyone knows it, so it's pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah. What I like too is something that I thought about was how right from the opening they're already showing us all these magical things, and I like how they don't even they don't feel the need to, I guess, explain it. Just them, like it's just a normal thing for them. So that way, when Harry starts to learn about it, we're also learning about it with him,
Yeah.
kind of thing, which I thought was
Well,
cool thing they did to start. But
this is kind of jumping ahead on that, but one thing I really love about this movie is that there's so many genuine reactions to it. In like the scene with the Great Hall when they first enter in, all of the kids are like, "Hey, like this is cool," because that was their genuine reaction caught on camera.
oh, I see. Like the actors.
Yeah, the
reaction,
actors,
right?
they had never seen it
Yeah, yeah.
before. So all of these kids who are just walking in, I mean, obviously a lot of like the candles were not actually floating and things like that, but
But like the set
the
itself,
set
is,
itself
I'm
is
sure was
huge.
still,
So they like walk in and they're like, whoa, like this is like a
Yeah.
castle. So all of it is genuine reactions that what I think really adds to the magic of it.
yeah. I mean, especially like if you think about it, I mean, like I said, this is the first movie, so like whoever was in charge of production design, you kind of had to just take an image from the book and just like, let's see how we're gonna make this look in person and make it look as magical as possible. And they somehow were able to come up with not even just a dining hall, literally every set in this movie is something unique and memorable
and magical.
Like, magical, right? So, but the movie doesn't start off so magical after that, because we see Harry Potter in a fucking cupboard.
It's the closet under the stairs. Which, fun fact, we used to have a closet under the stairs at my old house, and I would
Were
be
you
like,
shoved into that?
no, I shoved myself into that, and everyone had to beg me to come
place.
out. Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm staying
I
in the
just
closet.
left you in there. I would have just said, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny. Anyways, but this family, the Dursleys, they are the worst fucking human beings.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dudley, you know, he tries to get out of the cupboard. Dudley shoves his ass right back in. They're like, Harry, make our breakfast. Harry, make my coffee. And then it's Dudley's birthday, so he's like, oh, like last year y'all got me 37 presents. You want me to give me 36 this year?
36, but last year I had 37.
Yeah, it's fucking brat.
I love it. Yeah, it's very much was it not Violet from Willy Wonka, the one it's like, I want the golden egg and I want it now.
Is that the blonde chick chewing gum?
No, that one was Violet. It's the other one. I don't know, but me and my brother were comparing it to my niece the other day, so they're all the same person.
Right, exactly. But Harry, though, he does get his first, you know, good moment of the movie, and the first kind of sense that he has some magic in him that he doesn't know about. They take Dudley's ass to the zoo. Harry discovers he can talk to the snake, which we later find out is because he got some kind of Slytherin in him. You know what I mean?
Parcel tongue.
Somehow, the glass disappears. Dudley falls in, and then before Dudley can get out of the glass, reappears, and he can't get out. And I love how Uncle, what's his face? What's his name?
Vernon.
Vernon. Just sees him laughing, and literally in his head, he's like, "Okay, you did it."
Yeah.
Like no even.
No question. I don't know how you did it, but you did it.
You did it, but you did it.
No, yeah. It's very much just
and like and then literally just Harry's like, I literally have no idea how that happened. Like it just happened, and he's like, it's like magic. He's like, there's no such thing as magic. I'm like, you fucking know it was magic.
You
just don't want
know.
him to know.
You just lying to him.
Don't want him to know.
You're gaslighting him is what you're doing.
You're literally gaslighting him. You're like, there's no magic in the world. You literally have no capabilities whatsoever. But right when he's starting to like kind of make him think that, here come the fucking owls out of nowhere.
I don't know why you were gonna say feds, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, the feds show up. Right?
What kind of movie? Yeah.
Exactly. No. Yeah, the owls show up. The feds. And Harry gets this letter. This is like the first attention he's ever received in his life. What is so funny?
I'm sorry. I started making connections back to the Harry Potter musical. It's like, it's the wizard cops. It's just like a very short scene. At least I think it was. I might be making that up in my head. But either way, it'd be funny if it was in there. Sorry, continue. Owls come in, deliver the letters. As you were.
First attention he's ever received. And the Dursleys just want to, tear them all up because they're from Hogwarts, and clearly they don't want him to go to Hogwarts. But every time they keep coming and coming, they know, like, he's tearing up these letters, and he hasn't opened them yet. So the owls, they're just like, we're going to go apeshit on this house with all these letters.
We're going to bomb them.
We're going to actually literally bomb them with letters. He's sitting there like, oh, it's Sunday. You know what's great about Sunday? There's no postal service. No post on Sundays. Fuck that. They came all through. Not only is it one letter, it's literally millions of letters. And also the one thing I didn't notice is when all the letters are coming down the house, he's literally jumping in the air to try to grab a letter. I'm like, pick one up off the floor.
There's a lot around you, buddy. You don't got to put in all the effort.
You literally could just go back to your little closet, pick up the letter next to it, and just go in and like read.
I'm gonna go to my room now.
Right. You didn't have to jump in the air all obnoxiously. Yeah, but that was not smart.
Even then, they still ignore the letters. So,
exactly. Yeah. And even at that point, he's like, "Okay, this is crazy. We're getting away. I don't know how the fuck they found this random ass little house in the middle of the ocean."
Oh yes, they're little. They've got money.
I guess they don't explain it whatsoever. Yeah. Love that, but. even though they're isolated, I mean, come on, someone's gonna find you.
Yeah.
And of course, it's gonna be our friend Hagrid.
Hagrid.
I love when he's banging on the door, like trying to get inside. The camera just starts like rumbling and shaking. It's like, damn. Gives him this very sweet birthday cake because we didn't know it was his birthday until because I guess he was kind of drawing in like
he was like happy birthday, drawing himself a little cake into the dirt on the ground where he was sleeping. How sad! Like so depressing.
Does that like bring back flashbacks to your birthdays?
Yeah, no, not really. I've never had a bad birthday. There was one time I almost died on my birthday. But other than that, yeah, I was like, that would have been really poetic. I almost got hit by a car, but I didn't. So, yeah.
Oh, what happened? Why'd they miss?
My dad like pulled me out of the way before I can get hit. I was like, man. But you know, whatever.
Unfortunate. Anyway, at this point, after he gets his little birthday cake that's spelled "I'm happy" with 2 E's on it. Harry finally, I mean, he's revealed the truth. So he's a wizard.
You're a wizard,
whole
Harry.
time. Yes. Dursley's new because his mom was her sister and she was a witch. But that don't matter. He's going to Hogwarts now. They ain't stopping him. So now they start going shopping. He's like, I'm gonna help you find some shit for your classes. And then now he's around like kind of wizardly people. He's starting to realize, damn, I'm kind of a celebrity.
I'm kind of like famous. Which
I'm like famous.
Quick little side note. I'm like, I hadn't taken a chance to like read my notes, but like they're kind of funny. Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, 2 things were kind of funny. One, it was like, oh my god, Harry's a snake empath. Empath. Anyway, and then the next one was. Now no one gets mail because he covered the mail slot. Anyway, let's move on.
He did board up the mail slot. Yeah, that shit did not hold very long. Yeah. Anyway, so introduces him to Professor Quirrell, and of course he's the defense against dark arts teacher. Every dark arts teacher is always the one. Okay. Their defense against the dark arts, especially because they know how to defend against the dark arts because they're in the dark arts.
Yeah, well, and then they always say that it's the cursed job. So you know, is it that the job makes them evil, or did they get the job because they're evil? There's the question.
It could be both things. Also, notice for the first time too that he like tried to shake his hand. He's like, oh yeah, he's kind of like That was like good little detail there. I didn't really notice. Yeah. But after all that, Hagrid's like, we're gonna go into Diagon Alley right now. He like taps on. He like grab. Oh, almost tapped the water. He like takes something like dabs on. He's like boom 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 boom. It reminded me of the. Have you ever played Lego Harry Potter?
Yes.
Good ass game. That's what it reminded me of.
Absolutely, 100%. My favorites. Yeah. I don't know, with his little pink umbrella. So cute.
It was a little pink umbrella, yeah. But they get into Diagon Alley and it looks amazing. Like this is the first time we're actually like seeing a magical environment. Like the whole world around them is magical. Yeah, and you see that first Harry being like, the first step into Diagon Alley, and it's just like quite literally everything around is just like constantly moving and changing, and there's just so much to look at. If you were to pause like the scenes, you could just like take a look at everything around it. And it's so intense, so detailed, and just so cool the way they had done it all. That's again why I love these movies so much, because it sucks you in. I just wonder, like at Universal, like how much of that is like have they actually like kind of recreated for that? There
is a lot there. So okay, well here's I've been, but I also haven't experienced.
Did you want to tell this? Did you want to?
Yeah, I'll tell my little story. So if you could tell, I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. So I went to go to Harry Potter World, and I went with my parents. It was many years ago. Well, we went at like a peak season, which was our first mistake. So, and we only went there for one day. And we had gone to like other parts of the park first. And then we went into the Harry Potter section towards the end of the day. So the first thing we do is get in line for butterbeer. This line takes like an hour. And then by the time we're like halfway through. We're like, you know what? Forget it. We don't need butterbeer that badly. So we left the line and we're like, we'll go into one of the rides. Spend another 2 hours in line for that ride. As soon as we get to the front of the line,
It's closed.
they close the ride because it broke down.
The ride broke down?
Yes. So at that point, we're all frustrated. And so my mom's just like, let's just leave. And so I was like, okay, fine. So we just left. I didn't get to do anything.
So I know what you mean then, because that doesn't really. I feel like,
yeah.
especially if you made it all the way there. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for that butterbeer. Like I'm experiencing it to the fullest.
Yeah.
So the fact that you went and didn't even get to do,
I will say,
like, anything.
I was a lot younger, so I wasn't as big of a fan. Like I wasn't like super into it as I was now, but I was still like, oh, Harry Potter. This like I
Right.
love these movies, you know? So I was still very excited to be there, but I need a do-over. I absolutely need a do-over. I have a whole
Definitely.
plan. I'm gonna bring a birthday button,
Oh.
even though it's not my birthday. And everyone's gonna be nice to me and they're gonna choose me for the wand sorting ceremony. And it's gonna be me because I need a real
The
wand.
wand sorting?
Yeah, they do like a whole thing. They like pick someone out of the audience every hour and they'll be like, all right, this is the one that chooses you, and they have a whole like scene.
Oh, you get the whole moment?
Yeah, it's really cool. So I'm like, I want that.
I thought you like mixed up that and the sorting hat
No,
together
they
as
have
like
the
one
whole
ceremony.
thing.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
They do have sorting.
I did not know they did that.
Yeah.
It's
So,
very cool.
That's cool.
Okay, well, we're about to get to where he finds his wand, but before, real quick, they do go to that bank. What's it called?
Gringotts?
You can tell. Yes, thank you.
I'll be your personal Harry Potter dictionary.
You're really the dictionary here. When I forget a name of something, you can help out with that.
Got it.
First of all, goblins look crazy with that makeup and everything they're doing.
Very creepy,
but
yes.
the point of why they're in this bank is because all his money is there that his parents left for him to go buy his shit. But arguably more importantly, fuck his money. What we're there for really is inside Vault 713 is this Sorcerer's Stone. But at the time, all we know is that it's something it's Hogwarts business.
Secret.
Top
Yes.
secret.
Tell nobody.
And at first I was like, why didn't they leave that shit in there? But then they explained later, like for Nicholas Flamel, like he, like, is that why you ended up getting it? It's not like you could have just left that shit in the vault.
Honestly, I don't even remember why.
Like why? If it was
they
so,
took it out of the vault.
if you didn't want that shit in the wrong hands, if you had to leave it protected under a three-headed dog at Hogwarts, you couldn't just leave it in the vault.
I guess like maybe
Well,
in their heads they were like, "There's no safer place than Hogwarts."
no, but that's true because then remember later on in the movie they read about how the vault was broken into later that same day.
Ah, that's what.
So
it was.
somebody would have gone. They would have gone in anyway.
Yeah.
It was safer. Yeah. Okay.
It's everything's always safer at Hogwarts until
Hogwarts.
it isn't.
Until it's not. A couple movies. We'll see it in a couple movies later. Okay. Now Harry is finding his wand, and I've always loved this scene because, like, you see all this magic going on, but I feel like this is the moment really where the magic really.
I did a whole
connects.
film analysis on this one scene because it's just like everything about it.
When did you do an analysis?
A couple weeks ago, actually.
So do you want to take over this?
Sure.
You can.
So
What did you even say?
basically, with this scene, it's just like the way that they set it up with like, it's very like it still has that like the magical nature of like new beginnings and like, okay, like
Sure.
I'm in a brand new world, but then it takes like an ominous turn just a bit, and it's kind of foreshadowing, you know, what's to come later on, that something bad is going to happen, because you see Ollivander, the wand maker, and he's like, you know, helping him out, and it's kind of silly because he's like breaking things and stuff, but
Sure.
But then, like, you see Ollivander, and he's like down the hall, and the way that the lighting is on him, where it's just his shadow and the light and the lights coming from behind him, and, like, all of that is just very like I said, it's ominous, and you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? And he gives him the wand. Sure enough, that's his wand, and like the camera zooming into him, and the wind, and like the motion,
And the lighting and
everything about it just adds up to this just like truly magical moment. I mean, of course, magic because it's magic, but like it's
Sure, but I feel like that's like one of the most iconic shots of
it's
like
one of the
Harry
most
Potter,
iconic shots of Harry Potter. Absolutely. So it's just it's so cool the way that it's done. And again, and he goes on to tell the whole story about how it's like it's odd that you have that wand because the brother of that wand
Was the one who gave you that scar.
the skull. Yeah. So it's just like foreshadowing and like building it up. It's just so good. It's so good. I love it.
It makes me wonder like did he like why did he pick up that wand to give to him then to see if it would.
There's I wonder.
Yeah.
It's like, well, because it's like, why not try that one out? You know?
Yeah, why not give him the wand of the person who gave him the scar? Why
Listen,
not?
at this point, I feel like everybody kind of is like, everyone who's somebody in the wizarding world knows about the prophecy. So it's like, is he the one?
Yeah.
Is he the chosen one? Because all signs point to yes. So.
I mean, they call him the boy who lived, so he kind of has that kind of title going into it.
Yeah. But it's so he's got a name to him.
That's true. But I just love that scene, like, to me, like him, not even him, just like any wizard in general, like buying their first wand, it's kind of like seen as like a rite of passage as a wizard, kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
I thought they conveyed that pretty well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was good analysis, Martha. You should try that more.
Yeah. Except I didn't use the word
see.
Silly. I was more professional in my wording.
Good job. Now you can go back to silly. You can go back to
silly. I'm just a silly, goofy
what is
gal.
Pretty. Now it's pretty silly. Is he's going on the train, and out of all the platforms he's got to go to, he's got to go to 9 3/4.
9 3/4.
And he's like, "What the fuck is 9 3?" So through all of that, he's like trying to find the station. He sees the Weasley family, and they're like, "We gotta go to platform 9 3." He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna follow them, that crazy ass family."
Miss Mom.
And he's like, "Okay, how am I gonna do this? This is weird as fuck." He's like, "You gotta run into the platform." I'd be fucking worried about a concussion or something, but
just a bit. But you have a cart in front of you, so it's like
you do have the cart to kind of brace the impact of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like, it's not too bad.
Which movie is it though that they run into it and they actually do like
the second one where they start running late? The Chamber of Secrets, where they start running. They miss the train, but that's also because Dobby closed the platform because he was like, Harry Potter cannot go to Hogwarts. So yeah. And then they go.
For whatever reason, my mind, I thought that was later on in the series, but that is the next movie. Okay. Anywho,
because it's the flying Ford
also,
Angelus. Sorry.
I do love the little moment where Ginny's like, "Good luck," and because that's all we see of her.
Little Ginny,
and then they're a couple later. Like, that's cool. But this is essentially how he meets Ron. They share the same,
Weasley.
Say on the train. No.
Should we at some point start doing the Harry Potter Puppet Pals?
Not today. Maybe a couple of Harry Potters in. Not today.
Ron
No.
Weasley.
No. They're trying out all this crazy, magical candy because they have nothing else to do. Hermione comes in the picture.
I'm just gonna keep throwing out quotes.
You're just like a sound box or something, or like one of the soundboards. Basically, it's all right. She comes into the picture, immediately is like, looks at Ron, is like, "I don't like you."
Okay, well, she comes in and he's like stuffing his face. He just failed at doing magic, and he's got dirt all over his face. I would judge him. I'd be like, "Who's this gross little kid?"
Okay, but she wasn't trying to impress nobody. Like, she just walked in there.
Yeah, still, she can do no wrong.
I'm sure she can, but I will say, I do like, though, even with just the scene, you get a little idea what their personalities are like. Like, definitely, like you said, Ron is more the kind of silly
goofy guy.
Jokester. Silly, goofy guy. Hermione's the more mature, smarty pants one, kind of, that type of person. I don't think you would ever think that by the end of the whole franchise, they would be together, too.
Now, that's silly, goofy.
That is very silly, goofy.
A fun fact, in the book, before it was published, Ron was supposed to, like, just cuss all the time. Like, he was supposed to be nonstop about it. And they were like, "Man, this is a children's book." And she was like, "Okay, fine." So
I would have liked to see that.
I think that would have been really funny.
That would have been funny, honestly. Yeah. But yeah, they eventually get off the train and they get on them boats going to Hogwarts. And dude,
this scene,
I remember like watching that scene and thinking like, that's like a childhood dream, just going on a boat to the castle. Like, I think it looks so cool, like the way that they shoot that, like the way like the lights are on the boats and everything
It's
in the
every.
water,
It's so
and then you see the castle
beautiful.
for the first time, like from the white shot of the castle.
It's
It's
so
like,
beautifully
oh
shot.
shit.
Actually, I think that's the cover of the case.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it right there.
This
Yeah,
scene is just like, oh god, the way it's shot is just done so beautifully. Well, this is a artist rendition, but still,
but still, that's basically what the shot looks
yeah,
like. Yeah,
it's so good. It's so good. I love it.
love it. It's fantastic.
Love
They get to the castle, and McGonagall's like introducing them and like talking about the house cup and all this kind of stuff, and then we meet Mr. fucking Draco bitch ass Malfoy,
Shut up, Malfoy.
and he comes up there with his rich ass attitude, talking to Harry like, hey, like I'm Malfoy,
Hey, yo, I'm Malfoy.
like
Yes, that's exactly
that's exactly
how Malfoy.
that's exactly how he comes out. He's like, I'm Malfoy from Brooklyn. Um, and he's like talking, like putting down Ron, be like, "Oh, look at you with your, red hair, your hand-me-down
Hand-me-down
robes.
robes.
Like you're a
You
Weasley.
must be a Weasley.
You're a Weasley. Like fuck." And then he's like, "Okay." I don't remember the exact quote, but like he's basically trying to be friends with Harry, and Harry's like, "I think."
I think I could tell the wrong
well, you
sort
probably
from myself. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Like a fucking boss, like a G.
Dropping bombs.
Like put him in his
Yeah.
place.
So get out of here.
Um,
Get out of here.
Get out of here, Malfoy. Get out of here.
Suddenly, everyone in Harry Potter has a New Jersey accent.
I would love. I next time I watch the movie, I'm gonna like
Imagine it. Yeah.
it. When starting with Chamber of Secrets, what I'm gonna do.
Perfect.
That sounds good. But yet another example of like the whole magical wonder of the movie, which you kind of already mentioned with the dining hall, like just the way they walk in and like there's the ceiling with the candles and everything like that looks amazing. And then Dumbledore starts talking and he's talking about, don't go to this place, don't go to this place. It's like, okay, these are all the places.
If you
they're gonna
don't
go
want
later.
to die a horrible death. Anyway, moving on.
Move on.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what?
Exactly.
This is a school.
I was like, what? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Something I kind of like, I did really like the whole idea of the Sorting Hat scene. First of all, okay, one problem I have with this, which I kind of realized before I watched this, but even this time I was like, this is weird. They don't sort these students out in any kind of order whatsoever.
Nope, they're just like
They're like Hermione Granger. They're like Ron Weasley, and then back to this random chick, and then Harry Potter.
Susan Bones.
I'm like, yeah, that's her name. I'm like, not even by last name or nothing. They're just like,
Yeah,
literally, probably
they're
just like this. They're like,
they're drawing out of the Sorting Hat. They're pulling it out of its
drawing out of the
ass,
Sorting
and it
Hat
says,
first.
"Okay, this one
literally, you're
Yeah.
next." I was like, okay, but I did like about the Sorting Hat because like the idea that it seems like it's like, okay, it's kind of just gonna like kind of place you wherever wants to put you, but I feel like it's just more like it kind of recognizes what your wants and desires are,
Well,
or like
it,
what you
it reads you. It's like you've got your cards read because it's like that's what it does. It's just very, it like sees who you are, like your sees your insides, sees all your major organs.
it's like an X-ray.
Yeah, it's basically an X-ray, but for your soul. And just kind
That's
of
a good way
like
to put it.
it sees who you are, because there's character traits for every house, so it's not like random. And this is something that like often comes up in discussion when talking about Harry Potter, but it's like how Hermione represents Ravenclaw because she's smart, and Ron represents Hufflepuff because he's a little ditzy and likes food. And Harry
And obviously Harry leans like Slytherin.
Slytherin, but all of them, because first and foremost, they put their bravery above all else. That's what makes them Gryffindor. Yeah.
Okay, that makes it. Yeah, that's kind of how I figured it. Like, it may seem like on paper he's perfect for Slytherin, but like deep down, like
He has that
he's a
bravery.
Gryffindor boy.
It takes
obviously
bravery
he
to
has
be
the
like,
desire.
hey, I don't want to be there. To speak up for yourself, that takes bravery.
Right. It's showing his clear desire to not be at Slytherin. It's like, okay, clearly Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also the big ass plates of food. It's like a buffet every night at Hogwarts.
I know.
That's
I
what-
wish I would give anything to have a Hogwarts buffet.
You know what I just realized? We never meet the chefs at Hogwarts.
No.
Because I know the food just magically comes up,
They
but
eat,
I'm just like the
yeah.
food had to be made somewhere, like when frozen, you
Maybe.
know?
I don't know. But actually, yes, that is true
Or
because there
like,
is a kitchen in Hogwarts. The kitchen is placed right next to the Hufflepuff dormitories because we like
oh,
food. Yeah.
anyway, uh, who we also do like, but we're not so sure about at first. I think I mean, I'm pretty sure he'd be the most complex character in the series. I'm talking about Snape.
Ah, Snape.
Um,
Snape.
Snape.
Severus
Nope. No.
Snape.
No. Thank you.
Dumbledore.
Anyway, um, I mean, would you say he's the most probably complex character of the
Throughout the entire series,
series?
absolutely. Yeah. No, he
Yeah.
hands
Yeah.
down. He is because there's when you're first introduced to him in this movie, he is first and foremost the villain. He is the big bad up until the very end
Clearly.
of the movie when he finds out that he isn't. But then even after that,
But even after that, for the
complete.
rest of literally until the very last movie,
He's
he's kind of seen as a
he's
villain
not the bad guy, but he is a bad guy towards Harry. And we don't understand why until the
until the
very
very
end.
end of
We
the
get a
franchise.
couple hints
Yeah.
here and there, but not until the very end. Till he's on. Never mind. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who has not seen all of the
Seen.
movies. Though I'd be very surprised if you hadn't. But teach their own.
Just sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, eventually we'll get
But
there.
yeah,
I don't know
you
how long it'll
you
take
don't
us,
find out
but
why until the very end. So yeah, it's he's the most complex, most interesting character. I think when it comes down to like the debate of like whether Snape was good or bad, I 100% I love Snape. I think he has a good heart. You just don't see it until the end.
you don't. I mean, even this though, like you said, till the end of this movie, you don't really even see it, especially because everything we're seeing about Snape is kind of framed through Harry's perspective. And all Harry knows is like, okay, this is the teacher that's like always
Is
targeting me, fucking like always talking shit to me.
framed through Harry's perspective.
And,
For the audio listeners,
exactly.
I'm holding up my Harry Potter glasses.
Put those away. um, but clearly there's like friction in that relationship and all that kind of stuff. But even from that first shot, it's like Alan Rickman, bro,
Oh,
like
yeah,
killed it.
he was made for this role. There is no one else who could possibly play Snape. No one else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane. So love that for him. But we start to get the first instance in terms of the whole Sorcerer's Stone kind of plot line that carries this movie through a little bit. We learned that the vault that Hagrid, like we kind of talked about earlier, the vault that Hagrid got the stone from was later broken into, but obviously nothing was stolen because the stone was gone. But clearly, whoever broke into it was looking for the stone. So moving on from that, we start in flying class. We got our broomsticks, and Malfoy, being the little bitch boy that he is, ends
Said,
up.
"Hey yo,
I mean, him.
I'm gonna go steal Neville's remember.
Hey, yeah. I'm gonna go steal remember.
Remember,
I'm gonna take that from Neville,
Mr. Neville Longbottom.
Longbottom. He's like, hey yo, Longbottom.
Hey yo, Longbottom.
Basically, right. So Neville, yeah, Neville's broom goes crazy, breaks his arms, and once they're gone, he's like, oh, here's the remember.
The remember.
And Harry's like, give it back. He's like, okay, go get it. Shoo. And then Harry flies his ass over, catches it right in front of McGonagall perfectly, like not even any
She's like turns and is
difficulty
like,
whatsoever. She's like, oh shit.
yeah.
And suddenly now he just becomes the seeker of the Gryffindor team for Quidditch.
In a century, the youngest
The youngest,
Gryffindor seeker in a century.
and it turns out just like his. What was that?
It's the golden
the
snitch. I have it on a necklace.
But it's not golden.
It is golden. It's just like it's like a white gold sort of situation.
Oh, I thought it was silver.
Doing the influencer thing. Also, the lighting in here doesn't really show very well, but it is a gold.
I'm calling it the silver snitch for
okay.
you.
You're a little snitch.
I'm downplaying you. No, but that looks very cool. But yeah, he's the youngest seeker ever, just like his dad.
Just like
Because Hermione somehow knows more about his family history than he does. So,
everyone does. Everyone knows more about his family history than him.
Than he does. Exactly. They established earlier in the movie that the stairwell in this castle goes crazy, like always changing directions.
Go crazy. Go
so
stupid.
The three of them are on the stairs. And they end up on the third floor, which is one of the places Dumbledore said you cannot go unless you want to die in painful death or whatever. They run into this big ass 3-headed dog named Fluffy, of all
Fluffy.
name.
I would
Um,
absolutely name a three-headed
but
dog Fluffy.
yeah, exactly, perfect name for
Yeah.
that. They notice though that he is guarding, like he's sitting on a trapdoor, and clearly they're like, okay, trapdoor, he's guarding something. What's got to be in the trapdoor? It's obviously the Sorcerer's Stone. Come on, like why else would the dog be there? And I love the moment after where Hermione's like talking about how like you better not, like I don't want to be around y'all. You're gonna come up with another idea to get us killed or worse, expelled.
She needs to sort out her priorities. Yeah.
It's
Love it.
good stuff.
Great banter.
It's great. It's great. Then Harry starts learning about Quidditch a little. It's a crazy ass game with these bludgers and what's it called? Bludger.
Bludger
Snitch.
and the golden snitch and the quaffle.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so that part made me think like, you like obviously you've heard of colleges that like play Quidditch, right?
Actually, our school has a Quidditch team.
UTSA.
We have a Quidditch team. I almost joined it.
You haven't
I
played?
almost joined it my freshman year, but then I realized that involves like a lot of running, and I was like, absolutely not.
I was gonna, cause I don't know like how the hell does that even work?
You put a stick between your legs and you run. Yeah.
But then you have, so do you just have two people on opposing teams like flying, like doing the same thing, but like how does this, do they not have the snitch?
You know what? I don't know how the snitch works necessarily, but I believe
do they just make a remote control thing and fly through the air
they
and
do
like
it
try to jump up and
like
catch it?
in the interns or the intern where, or is it internship? It's the intern where they have the game of Quidditch and they have the guy in a golden suit and he's like running around and they have to try and tackle
Oh yeah, you
him.
gotta try to just tackle him. That's
That'd be hilarious.
I need to look up on YouTube.
But I don't
That would
think
be
that's
great.
the case for this.
I'm gonna try to find the next Quidditch match at
But
our campus. Try to see
apparently
that in
they're like
person.
really good. They like have won like a bunch of trophies. So
That's crazy. Yeah, I never even
shout out to
I
UTSA
need to look that
Quidditch.
Shout out,
Yeah.
shout out to them. But anyways, so I don't know what time of year it is. Is it Thanksgiving?
Christmas.
That they have this big ass dinner again?
Oh yeah.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
Then Thanksgiving.
I think
Halloween,
or Halloween or some
because of
shit.
the
I don't know.
pumpkins.
It was Halloween.
Floating pumpkins.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So Halloween comes, and since earlier Ron upset Hermione because making fun of her for being smart, basically.
It then turned.
She's in the girls' bathroom all alone,
It
crying.
then turned
What?
into accidental manslaughter, or almost accidental manslaughter.
I don't know what you're
Well,
talking
because
about.
okay, so in the way that my mind works is it's like had he not said bad things about Hermione, she would not have ended up in the bathroom at the same time that there was a troll in the dungeon. Just thought you ought to know. And then the troll came to
true.
try and kill Hermione. So it's Ron's fault. He almost killed her.
That is true. I mean, everything kind of seems like his fault, but he does save the day with Harry. That Wingardium Leviosa shit that he couldn't figure out earlier. He knows how to use
it's Leviosa.
Yeah, they save her with that, and now they're all besties. You know, it's very sweet to
Besties for the
see.
besties.
But then they see that cut on Snape's leg when all the professors run in, and they're like, "Oh, he fucking tried to break in for the
He's
fucking
trying to
stone,
get
and he
stuff."
fucking cut his shit with the dog. Like, he's trying to take this thing, and he's like, okay. First of all, if all the signs in your head are looking like he's clearly the one doing it, I'm like, you should know that it's not the fucking obvious person.
No, but also
That's
keep
trying
in
to steal
mind
this shit.
that Harry is a 12-year-old. So, he's taking things at base level here, right? He's not thinking deeper into all signs point to him. So obviously, it's not him. It's going to be like, he looks like a bad guy. He must be the bad guy.
He must be.
So there's not a whole lot of deep thinking there.
Right, no, it's realistic, but it's still a frustrating
Yes.
thing because it's like, look at the fucking guy with a fucking towel wrapped around his fucking head. How about that?
Yeah.
Like, clearly that's your guy. Whatever. Like, damn. But anyway, Harry finally starts, playing Quidditch after McGonagall gives him his new broomstick. It's very sweet of her. First of all, for being 2001, you have to remember, this movie's 2001.
Yeah.
Effects are something.
The effects are something. for sure. Um,
Are they dated a little bit? Sure,
yes,
but
but
it's 2000. But for its
you
time,
go back to 2001. This shit was awesome. This was like,
it
whoa,
was awesome,
these kids are
man.
flying around on brooms. That's crazy. All right. So like, you just gotta take a step
Real.
back. Maybe
Before
wait.
this, what were people doing with brooms? They were just sweeping
They were
shit
just
up,
sweeping.
and
All
now
right,
we're
now we're
flying on these
flying on them.
motherfuckers.
All
Like,
right. So they, you know what? Anyone who has
right.
criticism,
And now we're
get
throwing
out.
balls through hoops and catching little snitches.
Get
Like
out of
that's
here.
to where we're at in
In the
2001.
in the words of
Exactly.
Draco Malfoy, get out of here.
Get out of here, Malfoy. Exactly. But Harry's broom, he starts fucking up like Neville's did earlier. And all that they're seeing is Snape muttering the spell, so they're thinking, "Oh, he's fucking up the spell. He's jinxing the broom, whatever." Hermione goes ahead, lights his fucking cape on fire,
Yeah.
and it stops
Arson.
because everyone got distracted, including Mr. Little Quirrell, who's
Yeah.
really
Had
doing
they
the shit.
literally looked
But
over Snape's shoulder, they would have seen Quirrell doing the same exact
but
thing.
but listen to but it's exactly what we were just talking about. The first person you see doing it is Snape. He's the bad guy in their head.
Already,
There's no
yeah,
need
there's
to
no
look
need to look
anywhere
anywhere else.
else.
True that, true that.
They're just like, that's our guy. But they're fucking
They're
dumbass little kids. It's fine. But Harry does cast a snitch. Wins the game. Good shit. Cool.
Snitches
Cool
get
thing for Harry.
stitches.
Snitches get stitches and wins, I guess, for Harry. But at this point, they're trying to figure out more and more. So they're talking to Hagrid, and Hagrid is the worst secret keeper in the world.
I should not have
I
told you
lost
that.
count how many times in this movie. I shouldn't have told you that. I should have said that. Over and over. And then eventually he's going to just spill something super important. I mean, obviously everything he's kind of telling them is important, but like eventually he's going to say something that's like critical to what they're trying to
Very
do.
much so, yes.
So just wait on that. But now is when Christmases came. And Harry is gifted this amazing invincibility
Cloak of
cloak.
invisibility.
What did I say?
Invincibility. He's not.
Did I say invincible?
Yeah, he's not invincible. He is invisible.
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 Invisibility. Okay, anyway. It's a
It's a
cloak.
cloak. But
Alright?
but
Fuck.
before the cloak, you know what else he gets? He gets a sweet little sweater
Oh, he does get
from
the sweater from
Mrs.
the
Weasley.
Weasleys.
The sweetest lady
That's
to ever exist. Now that
Literally has met him for like 5 seconds and
and
already got a
said,
sweater
you know
from her.
what?
Like,
I will
she's so
take
sweet.
you in as my own son. Sweetest little lady. I love her. Because like later
Why didn't she just go back? I would have just gone back home with
Right.
them. Why the fuck you go back home to
right?
the Dursleys?
I know. Yeah. I
It's not like they would
very
have
much
cared.
should have because like you can see like throughout the next few movies where it's like he'll go home with them for holidays and stuff and like hang out with the Weasleys and I'm like
Right.
that's so sweet.
I mean, how many movies in this franchise does he start off at the Dursleys? Like, he could have just been at the
Could have been at the
Weasleys.
Weasleys this whole time.
He could have been. But he immediately starts using, though, his new invisibility cloak.
Invisibility.
Thank you. To his advantage. Basically, so they discover somehow that I guess the Sorcerer's Stone is tied back to this dude named Nicholas Flamel. So he's like, okay, I'm going to go look in the restricted area of the library looking for shit on this guy. But he didn't really... Oh, well, I guess he was looking and then he spills... He like knocks over his
His candle. That's yeah.
whatever fucking thing
I
he
don't
was
know.
holding.
It's like the 1800s
it's-
apparently, and they have to use candles.
Yeah, apparently it has still to
Yeah.
use candles at Hogwarts. All this technology. But once he tries to leave, all he sees is... he just needs Snape. He's like going on Quirrell. He's like, you do not want to be my enemy.
Got
Or,
a lot
like,
of enemies.
whatever it
Got a
is.
lot of enemies.
A lot of
Yeah,
enemies. Yeah, got a lot.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah, and he's kind of just giving a little talking to about. He's like, "Hey, man, I know what you're up to, so watch it."
Right.
You know.
And then he's like, Snape suddenly feels like a little like, I don't know. I guess he feels air, and he's like, oh no, yeah, he does it a lot more kind of. It's so good. Ugh, he's just fucking love Snape.
I love it.
Anyway, but basically he sees Snape like talking to Quirrell like that, and in his head, of course, he's like, "Oh, Snape's like threatening him. Oh, like Quirrell's trying to stop him." And blah, blah, blah. It's the other way
It's the
around,
other way around, fool.
dumbass. So, that doesn't help. But what Harry does find is this big ass mirror.
Mirror of Erised.
Thank you. Showing your deepest wants and your deepest desires. all that kind of shit. And for him, it's being back with his parents. I mean, it's just, I mean, it ties to like this is. I mean, him being a Hogwarts is the first time he's felt like not alone. You know, because he didn't have his
Because you're
parents. You
not
know,
alone. And you're here. Once again, you got to watch Harry Potter, the musical, a Harry Potter musical.
we're not
It
doing
is
that.
absolutely
No,
hilarious. So good.
we're not.
So,
No. Um, is that what I feel like? If you were in front of that mirror, you would just be seeing yourself like reenacting the whole Potter musical, like for your own self. Like you
absolutely.
wish you could just be
I
in
wish I
that.
could be them. Yeah, no, I love them. Star Kid Productions, they're geniuses. I would be happy to be in any one of their productions.
Oh, okay. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dumbledore though, I guess they inferred that or not inferred. I mean, he kind of says it. He's like every night Harry's been sneaking out to like go sit in front of that mirror, and Dumbledore is like telling him like, bro, you
You gotta
cannot be
chill
like
out.
standing in front of this mirror. You gotta chill out with the mirror, man. Cause trust
It's
me,
weird. It's getting weird.
I've seen people. It's getting a little weird. Number one, but number two, I've seen people that have like been in front of this mirror forever, and it fucks them up a little
Just a
bit.
bit.
You know, kind of drives a little crazy. So you don't want to be doing
They're
that.
gonna
You know what
send
I
you
mean?
to
Like you
Saint
this
Mungus if you go crazy.
realize exactly. Like realize what you're looking at right now. This is not reality. Like you have your reality now. Like don't look at that shit. You know what I mean?
Don't look at it.
So that's why we're moving it. So you ain't gonna be able to come back anyway if you wanted to come back. So that's that. But anyway, then our three leads discover just what the Sorcerer's Stone does. From my understanding, I guess whoever has the stone like kind of just makes them immortal in a sense. It's
Yeah,
like a
it's kind of like it's just like one of those objects, like those magical objects. It's like I want it because magic, you know?
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
But they go tell Hagrid. But then as that's all happening, we know with his dragon egg and everything, Draco sees them outside. But they all get
Draco's like, "Hey
detention,
yo,
and
what
they're
you
like, you know
doing
what?
out
You're going.
here?"
Hey, yo, what you doing out in Hagrid's hut, yo? Was that dragon?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, what's Hagrid
Yeah.
doing?
So he goes, he
Um,
tattletales on them.
he's like, yo,
Oh,
McGonagall,
McGonagall,
yo, Professor. He's like, yo,
they
Professor.
out there, and she's
Like,
like, "All right,
they
I'll
out.
take care of it." And
I take care of it, but your ass going
you're
to
all
detention
getting
too.
detention
So
for
you're going to the woods with Filch and his little
it's
cat.
for going
Filch.
Filch. Yeah, but for being outside after dark and being with Hagrid, your detention is to be with Hagrid outside after dark.
in after dark, but you're going in the woods,
this
which you're
time,
forbidden
yeah,
to go
this time
to.
you're going into a serious forbidden area. So like that's detention in Hogwarts.
That's
Yeah.
detention. Get you almost
Yeah.
killed. That's how
And
we do it.
apparently
Risk
this
your
is
life.
better than how it used to be because Filch makes that little one line about how he's like, "Oh, back
Oh yeah,
we
he's
used
like,
to hang them by their thumbs in the dungeon."
yeah. I was like, fuck.
Nice,
Okay.
intense.
Um. Anyways, yeah, they're all in the woods. Harry gets lost, and he almost dies by a unicorn sucking Voldemort like flying
He said,
thing.
"Blah blah blah."
He's a like yeah, eating unicorn blood and all that. And out of nowhere, dude, I telling you this, do not remember this at all
Friends?
until I did not remember. I did not remember a centaur being in this movie.
Ye-
Literally came out. I was like, fucking Narnia.
I
Like,
feel
what is
like
this?
the only reason I remember it is because of a Harry Potter musical, because there's a funny like sequence about them. But yeah, because I remember
Mm-hmm.
as a kid watching it and still like never expecting the centaur to just pop up. But yeah, it's
I just never
yeah.
remembered that being a Harry Potter thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, I knew that I remember it coming up in Order of the Phoenix, I believe. The one with the Frog Lady.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, Pink
yeah,
Frog
yeah.
Lady. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's cool. I mean, again, it adds more layers to the whole like it's magical world and the forest is magical and that guy's over there sucking a unicorn's blood.
Right. All that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, it makes sense. Um, but anyways, so Harry Scar, he keeps having more issues with it. It's like, it's burning, it hurts more and more. Every professor they try to talk to about the stone is like, you know about the stone? Okay, we got it. Like, it's safe. Like, ignoring them
Yeah.
basically. And then the more they see Snape, they're like more and more confident that he's gonna go after it. So they're like, fuck it. We're gonna go get the stone ourselves because no one's doing anything about it. They don't realize what is at stake. No one's doing shit. Poor Neville though. I mean, they're trying to leave. He kind of try to stand up to him. Got his ass knocked out. No.
Poor Neville.
Yeah, yeah. That was. I mean, kind of came. Kind of got rewarded for it
In
at
the
the end
end,
there. But
it
still,
worked out. But at the time,
it worked out. But still, it's like Neville. No.
But then,
Yeah, exactly. But then here's their quest, finally to look for this, to get the stone, and it's like a whole ass.
You got 3 levels,
to get
and then the
this shit.
boss level is what you got.
It's literally like a video game. What it takes to get in here, it's insane. So first they got to get through Fluffy 3-headed dog, which is pretty. I mean, he's already falling asleep due to the heart, but then he wakes up. But they just jump in, he's fine. Then they're in the Devil's Snare. And all you got to do is just stay as calm as possible and just go down. But Ron's like,
Exactly.
but Hermione's like, okay, let me do this spell. Get your ass out. Let's go. Like, we're taking too long. Then all these damn like flying keys. Only one key fits the door to get into the next part. And Harry, obviously being the youngest Seeker in the Gryffindor,
In a century.
whatever the fuck, in a century.
He is up to the task.
Is able to handle that. He's able to get that task. Gets pretty fucking cut up in the process, but he
got it.
He got a handle on it. He got it. Ain't no problem.
Next.
Finally, though, here's the crazy shit. This is Wizard's chess game, like real life, like come to life, like slaughterhouse, like Wizard's chess game, which looks great. Like the way they were able to achieve this.
What is he doing? He's going
amazing.
to sacrifice himself.
So,
No, you can't.
okay, here's what I will say. Something I mentioned for the first movie, especially, and like for these kids, obviously it was their first movie at the time. They did great considering it, but there were a few moments in this movie where their acting did make me laugh.
He's going to sacrifice himself.
Yes, especially some of the reaction shots. Like the ones I remember most are like when Harry's playing Quidditch and someone gets hit and he's like, like, and he's like, just like,
Yeah.
Harry.
Yeah, they're kids.
Like, do that.
It's clear,
I know.
it's very clear. But ultimately,
exactly. It's very clear
they did a good job overall.
They did.
And by the
honestly,
last
they're great.
movie, that's good acting.
Clearly perfect casting, and they have the chemistry from the beginning here, and like they embody the spirit of the characters. Overall, they did great, but there are shades of like very new to acting here, and I just thought it was funny. But
Not
anyway,
me, not Hermione. You.
yay! I love that I know exactly. Yeah. Anyway, they're finally able to get through it thanks to everyone being brave and sacrifice and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, basically since Ron got his ass, knocked over, Hermione stays with him. And like I said before all that, that's when Ron is like, "It's not me,
Not Hermione.
Hermione." Exactly. So Harry's like, "Okay, this is my shit. I'm gonna handle it on my own, like a man."
Like the little man child he is.
But once he goes in, he expects to go. Right. He goes in. He expects to see fucking Snape. Bitch, it's Quirrell.
Surprise.
Not. I almost said plural. His name is not plural. It's Quirrell.
Because there's multiple of him.
There is multiple Quirrell. There is multiple.
Yeah,
I mean, there's another fucking person on his head, on the back of his head. Turns out he's looking for the Sorcerer's Stone because Voldemort's in the back of his fucking
and
head,
not just in like
in
a
that
mental
towel of
way, like a physical way. He is
No, not even mentally. Like he's physically like in the back of his fucking head. Like his
crazy.
looks terrible.
Not fun. No wonder he wears the turban.
then-
I'd be self-conscious
Yeah, no
about
wonder.
that.
I'd be very self-conscious about that. That's the number one reason. Was not that he didn't want anyone to know. He just, yeah, exactly. But somehow they're looking in this mirror, and Harry pulls out, like he sees in the mirror that the stone's in his pocket. Like he's literally like,
And he's like,
Oh. And Harry's
He's
like,
like
oh,
winking at himself.
yeah, oh yeah, he does a little
Yeah.
wink too. Harry's like, oh, but Voldemort already knows like it's in his pocket. Like he just knows.
He
Like
just be
he's not
knowing. But
stupid.
also it doesn't help that like Harry also kind of like touched his pocket and was like, I'm
He
shaking
did. He
hands
made
with
it so fucking obvious.
Dumbledore.
He made it so
He made
obvious,
it
dude. Because
obvious, yes.
he's like, he's like, I'm shaking. We just won the
Oh,
House Cup.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
Harry,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about. What's the stone?
What's a
I don't even know
stone?
what
I
it
don't know.
What's a
Yeah.
stone? Exactly. Basically, but Voldemort's trying to convince Harry to give it up. He's like, you can have your life back with your parents, all this bullshit. And he's like, never. None of that's working. So Quirrell tries to kill him, but then Harry like touches him. He's like, get off, and he starts like burning up,
Disintegrating.
just like disintegrating in
Yeah.
thin air. And he's like, oh, I found the key.
Yeah, and he's like,
Starts
"Oh, this
touching
is all we
him.
had to do to kill." Yeah,
Honestly, it's. I think the more the climax. I mean, this is obviously the climax of the movie, but the more like trouble he seemed to have was in the wizard
yeah, no,
chest.
pretty much, yeah. I will say, like
Because
the book is even more anticlimactic, where he just like passes out as soon as he sees Voldemort, and then Dumbledore comes and saves him, and he doesn't wake up until the infirmary, and that's when he finds out what happens. So at least in this one, he did something.
he did find out what. Yeah, he did like touch, and then he eventually like once Quirrell disintegrates and Voldemort no longer has a physical, body to be in. Then Voldemort's spear goes through Harry and knocks his ass out. So it's
Little
not too different,
parasite.
but I think it does play out a little better.
Yeah.
Exactly. But now Harry wakes up in the infirmary. All is well. Ron and Hermione are doing better. And then Dumbledore tells him, "Oh, like we destroyed the stone, but remember, Voldemort can still return.
Dun dun
He's still out
dun.
there. Dun dun dun. That's our setting up.
Rest of
The
the
rest of what's
franchise,
to
yes, of
come.
course.
Exactly. Damn. I just wonder. I wonder when this movie came out. Like, obviously, I'm assuming. Obviously, you're intending on finishing out the series, but I'm like, what was their plan if this movie did not do well?
Well, at
Like, would we have
at
gotten a
this
second
point,
one?
I think she was already on book. I don't know if it was the second book or the third book. So she had already like written more of the
Yeah,
books.
yeah.
So I feel like they still would have continued to make the movies even if it didn't, just because like the books were so successful. I like the thing is that the formula, it couldn't fail because the books were so successful. There's no way that the movies weren't going to be.
But I mean, obviously not the same amount of success, but the Percy Jackson books were successful
That's
in a
fair,
different way.
yeah.
And after 2 movies, they're like,
People
nah.
still went to go see those 2 movies. Yeah.
They did not a lot. We did.
Yeah.
Not well. We
But
talked
you know what?
about
It's
them.
fine because we're getting a redo of Percy Jackson.
We're
so-
getting a TV series, which I
and
think is a better
Uncle Brick
approach to
is
take it,
actually
so-
going to be a part of it. It's going to be great.
Oh yes, they did. They cast Percy.
It's the
I
guy
forgot. I recognize who.
the Adam Project, the little kid. Yeah.
Yes, and I think.
And everyone,
Yeah.
oh
Have
my god,
watched
did
that
you
yet?
hear about all the drama that went down on Twitter about him? So everyone started going crazy and like saying like, dude, you're gonna do amazing, like all this stuff, and he's like replying back to them, oh, thank you, like hearts and like celebrities are tweeting at this kid. And then like a couple weeks later, he comes out and is like, hey guys, I'm really sorry. I just talked to my mom about it. She told me to tell you guys the truth, but this is just a fan account. I'm not really him. So all of the followers, all the people tweeting at him, they were just tweeting at some random kid who started a fan account about him.
That's
But because
so
he doesn't
funny.
have a Twitter, so everyone thought it was him.
And the kid that's behind that account just
Yeah.
started like playing into. Hell, I
Yeah.
would have too. The celebrity started tweeting at my fan
Like,
account. Hell,
yes, that is
mean,
me. That is who I am.
That is me. I cannot wait to be
Yeah.
Percy.
No.
Anyways, I don't know if you've seen the movie yet, but I think he'll be
Yeah.
really good as Percy. So that's cool. But anyways, naturally though, Harry is wondering. The big question on his head is how the fuck did he burn up Quirrell? Like how the fuck did that happen? And
Because
okay,
of love.
apparently love. I'm like, oh, we're watching Interstellar again. Like, what is
It's
this?
always love, the power of love.
It's always to me. It's just like okay, it's sweet and all.
Well, okay,
I get it.
but
But to me, it just reminds like y'all really had no reason
But
for why this
let's
happened.
let's put this into perspective. The answer being love makes more sense here than it does in Interstellar.
It
Just
does.
saying,
That's
because this
true.
is like at least a
If
kid's
anything, if
book,
anything,
you know.
and this also came out like 13 years
So
prior.
I mean,
If anything, maybe Nolan stole
yeah,
it
I
from
think Nolan needs
this.
to lay off the Harry Potter a bit. Yeah,
Exactly. I mean, he's British, so I'm sure he's seen the movies.
maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, but the movie does end on a very sweet note from here. So Gryffindor somehow comes up from last place to winning the House Cup because not only does Dumbledore give Harry, Ron, and Hermione extra points for what they did, but the tiebreaker is Neville with his
Yeah.
10 points for having the courage to stand up
So
to his
yes,
friends.
exactly. So
I'm like, he got his ass knocked
yeah.
out,
So
but
Dumbledore
it's
just
fine.
essentially rigged the system.
He basically did rig the
But
election.
hey, it's Gryffindor.
It's
At the end of the
Gryffindor,
day,
so
Hufflepuffs are never gonna win. So doesn't matter. Doesn't affect me.
it didn't matter. It literally didn't matter. Yeah, exactly. But then it's time for them all to go home. They get on the train, and Hagrid, like, he's like, before, like, you were not gonna say goodbye, were you? Gives him this little picture of Harry as a baby with his parents. Very sweet. And then the last line, which I love, it's Hermione asking Harry, like, it feels strange to be going home, like, doesn't it?
I'm not
And he's
going
like,
home.
I'm not going
really.
home. Not really.
Iconic.
Wide shot of the castle, the train leaving, the
Everything about it. Perfect.
The end.
Perfect ending to this movie. It's nice. Ah, God, I love this movie so much.
I mean, in terms of like actually starting off a franchise with the world building and like introducing us to characters and all this kind of stuff, I mean, I think this is one of the best examples I've seen of it.
Absolutely.
I think it sets up the franchise in a good note going. It works really well as a standalone movie for sure. And it definitely sets up the rest of the franchise and the kind of the problems that we're gonna see later on go, really well. And it does it all while still being fun and lighthearted and all that kind of stuff. I haven't seen the rest of the Harry Potters in a long time, so I can't say this is like one of my favorites because I do like the darker direction it eventually goes in and the more mature direction. Like those, I think I do find myself more attached to those. But in terms of what this is building up to be, like what it's supposed to be as its first movie, I mean,
I agree. I think everything about it it's good. It's lighthearted. It has that childish charm and that sense of nostalgia that really exactly it's always bringing you back into it. And I can watch this movie thousands of times and it never gets old for me. Is it like a perfect movie? No, but it's still such a great movie regardless. And I love it. I wouldn't say this one is my favorite out of the franchise. I do agree towards the end they start getting in those darker directions. Personally, I think Prisoner of Azkaban is one of my favorites.
I know that's a lot of people's favorites.
It's very good.
As for me right now, like I said, I haven't watched these movies in so long. The last time I watched all the movies, definitely the last one, part 2, was my favorite.
Yeah.
And then I think it was probably like Goblet of Fire after that. So I'm curious now after I do the rewatch
What they're gonna be.
of the rest of these, which I'm sure, what it's going to be after that. Especially since we're eventually going to go through all of them at some point. So
I think there's a part to love about every single one of them, which it's hard to say like which one. I think Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite this week. Next week it might be something else. We'll see.
Next week. Right, for sure. Okay. Did you have any other thoughts, or did you want to give your score?
Give this score. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10.
Okay. Hell yeah. I respect that. I'm super close to a 9. I just feel like I said, I just feel like later on I'm going to give other movies like a 9. And I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter really. Very high 8 out of 10 for me though, for sure.
Good.
Yeah. I think it's a great way to start off Harry Potter and like, it's such a like I said, this is probably the only Harry Potter movie that's feel good. I mean, I haven't seen Chamber of Secrets in a while, so maybe that one is kind of
We'll
feel
say
good too.
Chamber of
I'm not
Secrets is
sure.
like my least favorite. I don't know why, but it's always been my least favorite.
Okay. We'll see. I'm excited to get into that one next, whenever we decide to do that. But we'll see how you feel about it. Next thing you know, Chamber of Secrets is my favorite.
You never know.
You never know. Anywho, okay, so I'm glad we finally put this episode out. It is no longer invincible for us.
Yes.
So that's great. So now we're trying to get back onto it, trying to be more consistent. You know, we kind of had a little break there, but I think things are gonna seem a little more normal moving forward. No, not really. You're shaking your head.
We will never stay on top of our schedule. We post whenever we feel like it. God damn it.
We honestly do just post whatever we feel like it at
Yeah.
this point, which we have no right to do. We haven't earned that.
All right. You
but hey.
who's actually watching? All right.
98
Damn it.
people, actually. We're almost at 100 subscribers.
Yeah, like once again, y'all need to just unsubscribe. All right. We are bringing nothing to the table. Just stop listening.
Nothing of value.
All right. Yeah, that's all I.
Great marketing.
I'm going
So
into
glad
marketing,
you,
guys. I just spent 4 years
You're-
in college learning.
4 years to go into a marketing career. Look at that. And look where it's gotten you. Look at all that money you
Nice.
spent. Got you. Anyways, but we can look forward to
Yep,
next week,
yep.
though. Because next week's movie is Martha. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
It's another kind of like wizardy
I
sorcery
remember now.
movie.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me because I definitely forgot. Yes. In honor of the new Doctor Strange movie coming out, we are going to be watching Doctor Strange. Yes.
Doctor Strange, yes. It'll be the first Marvel movie we talk about on the
Really?
podcast.
That's surprising.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I don't think have we talked about any superhero movie on the podcast? Any comic book movie?
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh yeah,
guess.
sure. But actually, isn't that a graphic novel?
Oh. Yeah. Well. Whatever.
Anyways, I'm looking real quick. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, no, we have not done any movie of that sort.
Unless we're
so that'd be
saying
cool.
like action movie in general, because in that case, Kung Fu Panda.
But no, I'm talking about like Marvel, DC. kinda
Oh,
shit.
I completely forgot to tell you. I saw Batman. I watched
You watched
it.
it? Oh shit! Your first Robert Pattinson movie outside
Yeah.
of Twilight? You did it?
Uh-huh. It was a movie. It was a movie.
You didn't like it?
I didn't. So okay. So here's the
Why?
thing. Batman, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna come for me, but I feel like a lot of people also agree with me.
I'm gonna
Okay.
come for you because that's my favorite movie of the year.
Seriously?
Okay, actually, you know what's funny? My two favorite movies of the year are probably your least two favorite. Just The Batman, then it's X.
Oh my god! I hated both of those movies. No, okay. So yeah, the Batman, here's the deal with it is that you gave it a big budget. Cinematically, yeah, it's beautiful. But if you were to watch this movie with your eyes closed and you were to just listen to the dialogue and try and keep up with the storyline, it sucks. It's awful. Besides the cinematography of it, every other aspect of this movie sucks. The acting, not good. The script, terrible.
What?
All right, everything about it was not good.
Who acted who acted
just-
terrible? I thought they were all
Everyone
good.
was just very like awkward and like, and I just nothing worked.
We need to talk
We
about this soon
we
because
should,
I
yeah.
heavily
Because I
disagree.
Thoroughly
Oh, this is gonna
did
be
not
fun.
like
And
it.
who?
Sorry.
I need to try to find. I need to try to find someone who loved it so we can like go 2-on-1. No,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just
how
kidding.
this works.
We'll keep it
You
between
know,
us.
I could hold
gotta
my
we'll
own
keep it-
because I have a lot more to say about that movie because it was not
Okay,
good.
we'll keep it balanced. Okay,
whatever.
well, they'll definitely be in the cards soon then for sure. I honestly wanted to talk about it when it got on HBO. I just didn't think you were ever gonna watch
Yeah,
it.
no, I did, but I just
But since you did,
I couldn't. I literally,
what-
me and my brother watched it together, and the entire time we joked. We were just making fun of it because it was ridiculous. Like we couldn't take it seriously.
I could not disagree more.
Yeah.
honestly. Okay, we will touch on that soon. But thank you for letting me know you watched it. Okay, all right. Well, Dan, that's gonna be how I felt. Just probably how you felt when we watched Hitchhikers.
And you didn't like it?
Beetlejuice.
I don't get
it. Anyways, but Doctor Strange is next week. Like you said, for Multiverse of Madness, I'm gonna see it this weekend. So next time we talk, should be able to give a little light review.
And
on
I
it.
will probably watch it the week after. So
Okay, it'll be good, and that'll be good for you to watch beforehand
Yes, true
too.
that.
So okay, All right. What else do we got? Let's sign off here today. Thank y'all again for watching and for listening. For getting us over to 100 subscribers is amazing. If you want to help us get there, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Inner Wider Screen Podcast. If you're more of an audio person, that's cool too. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes. I think that's the same thing. Whatever, all that kind of stuff. And finally, you can keep up with us on a very active social media presence, led by marketing major Martha. Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, all at Inner Wider Screen. Just kidding. She doesn't even know we have
I
social
don't
media
even
anymore.
have the Instagram app downloaded on my phone.
You barely have the Twitter one.
I have it, but I don't use it. Yeah.
Exactly. You'll occasionally like a tweet that I'll post on the account.
Yeah, sometimes
and,
I'll do retweets of our posts. So it's like for the 3 people who notice my
for the people that actually
Yeah,
notice your
yeah.
account, that'll increase our.
That's what I'm here for.
Exactly. All right. That is what you're there for. Thank you, Martha, for this. I'm glad we came back strong after a good month off. Let's see how it goes from here. Anything else you want to sign us off?
Bye.
Bye.